All right. Well, we came in Sunday and graded the Tulsa tape. That was a hard film to watch. But, really what I saw when I turned on the film is excellent effort by our players. We had multiple guys on defense played 94 snaps in that game, which is incredible. And, I really felt like our guys laid it on the line, played their heart out for 4 quarters. And, the disappointing part is at the end of the day, it came down to about 7 or 8 plays. And really they were spread out between the offense, the defense, and special teams. Each group, even though they made some plays, each group had a chance really to finish the game at different points, and we didn't get it done. So the message to our guys, they came in Monday morning and said, hey, we're not going to run from it. We're going to watch it. We sat there and watched every play. We went over the good, the bad, the things we need to correct, the encouraging things that we can build off of. And then we said, hey, we got to move on. That's it. We're not going to talk about it anymore. And we got 2 games in the next 9 days. So we got to turn our focus 100% to Temple and hopefully use that game Saturday as encouragement for how close we are to breaking through, and maybe some motivation to practice a little bit better to be able to finish off some of those situations. But there's areas, players and coaches, that we had areas of improvement there that we'll learn from. Temple, they're coming off an open week. They had a really nice win a couple weeks ago against Memphis. They're number 9 in the country in pass defense. They've recruited extremely well. They brought in a good number of transfers on defense and offense. And so I know they'll be rested up and ready to go. And so our full focus is really being able to turn the page as a team and put everything into this Temple game Saturday night. So with that, I'll open it up for any questions.
Any updates on the injury front right now?
I think we came out pretty healthy.
Christian probably. Correct.
Yeah, Christian Williams is the one that we're hopeful that he may be able to go this week. He's been out for a while, and he is practicing now, and was doing one-on-ones today and doing a pretty good job. It is probably too early in the week. He'll be a game time decision, but I think we were fortunate coming out of that game. I don't believe we had any injuries that should carry over to this week. Bryce, he's coming back. He's getting closer to being healthy, and I think he's just kind of putting himself back in the mix. Obviously, Jimmy Horn's been getting more opportunities and more reps as we go, and Sean does a good job for us, so he's just kind of working his way back in that mix with those 2 guys.
Coach, in your 2-year tenure here, that's 2 one-point losses and a 2-point loss. That's got to be frustrating.
Yeah, it's tough. It's hard. Again, I don't understand why. I mean, I can go back and watch the plays and see some things, but at the end of the day, we're coming up short, and we got to find a way I got to find a way as a coach to help our guys finish whenever we get in those situations. But yeah, there's no doubt that one hurt worse than any of the other ones. Last year we could have won one of those games, but we'd have been right back to square one. We were nowhere close to the foundation that I feel like we have right now. I really feel like when we break through here soon that we're just going to keep getting better and better. Last year, with everything going on, we were just trying to keep the pieces together. So even though it was a similar maybe result, it was a different feeling because I really felt like our guys played 98% of the game well enough to win. But we still got to give Tulsa credit. They capitalized on a few of the costly mistakes that we made.
I didn't think about this until well into Sunday night, but we weren't sitting in the media room on Saturday asking you if Timmy McClain was going to be the starting quarterback this week.
Right.
That's got to be progress in itself for what you guys are trying to build.
Yeah, there's definitely, again, we're at a results-oriented business. I'm fully aware of that. I've been around this profession since I was born. And since I was 7 years old, I knew the difference in winning and losing, and so I fully understand that. But when you're building a program, you also have to look for progress, and you can't just take a tough loss and just say, well, we're just not getting any better. The reality is we are getting better. We just haven't played well enough for 4 quarters to get the victory. But yeah, there's definitely some progress out there. I think there's progress with our defense. I really felt like our offense really let our team down in some situations where, defensively, again, starting off, we've struggled in the first half right out the gate on defense this year. And their first 3 drives, we held them to 3 points. And then coming out, we took the ball, opened it up, wanted to be aggressive. So we knew we were giving them the ball in the 3rd quarter, and we knew this was going to be really key to get a stop. And defense goes out and gets a stop. And I think we had 4 drives in a row defensively starting in the third quarter with no points. So there's progress there, but still not enough to get over that hump. But it's a different feeling when you're close and you really feel that you're in a position to break through it and not just kind of lucking into something. But at the end of the day, it is what it is, and we got to learn from it and be able to move on. And that's difficult to do. You can look all over the country; it's difficult to do. But our guys have to this point have really showed up each and every week. And I think if you were to turn on that TV and watch how hard our guys were playing Saturday at noon, I don't think you would have thought they were a 1-4 team and coming off a difficult year last year. I mean, these guys they laid it on the line, and we got to be able to rekindle that and just do it a little bit more efficiently and effectively here Saturday night.
What is the temperature of the team, Jeff? Are they mad, anxious to take out frustration?
Yeah, well, it's still work in progress. Tuesday is still a day, and you just gotta. The number one thing you got to do is you got to show up, and you got to take action. You got to go to the meeting. You got to go to practice, and I think we've done a decent job through 2 days. It definitely wasn't our best 2 days. We need to have a better Wednesday and Thursday, but the guys are. They're trying to push through. You got a lot of things going on, right? Middle of the season, you got a lot of guys that haven't played a whole lot yet, and so you deal with that in the middle of a year like this. And big encouragement to our guys is, hey, just keep pushing through. And this is not the time to stop or to start feeling sorry for yourself or start having mid-season blues. This is the time to continue pushing forward, and I believe we will. I'm really pleased with our leadership overall of the team, and they're trying, and we got to be able to help them as coaches as well.
I know your goal is to win consistently, win championships. That's your long-term goal. Beating Temple, may not be relevant to that long-term goal, but to beat a conference team, beat an FBS team, how big would that be at this point for your confidence and for your players?
That's where we are right now, right? Kind of like we were talking about. Trying to figure out our quarterback, trying to figure out this. Now we're literally at the point where, we need to win. We need to get over that hump. And I really believe when we do, it's just going to bring more confidence and more energy and be able to push through to lead to more wins the rest of the year. But yeah, there's no doubt about it. There's nothing this team needs more right now than to get a victory. And that's why that one hurt last week, because they were so close and really should have got it done. But yeah, right now, you got to, as a coach, you got to have kind of 2 lenses that you look through, right? We kind of talked about that, a microscope, and that right now is on having a great day today and preparation and putting ourselves in position to go win this Saturday. And then you got to kind of back up and use the telescope and just be able to see, are you making progress within the program? And you're going to have problems. That's one thing I've learned as a head coach. The goal is not to have a day where you have no problems, because that's not possible. I think the goal is that whatever problems you face today, there are different problems than you faced yesterday, right? If you're still having the same issues, the same problems specifically within what you're doing, then that's not progress. And so I think for us, you haven't seen maybe some of the mistakes we made. It wasn't something that was just continued week after week. It's just some new things. We've protected the ball pretty well. I mean, you turn the ball over right there before half on kickoff return. That hurts right there. And so there's things that we got to continue to address, but we'll get there. And I believe very firmly that our guys are working hard and making progress.
Coach, a loss is a loss, but as a coach and players, you're going to replay almost every play in these close ones. Is that hard to move on from?
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, you got to hold to the 24 hours. And
win or loss.
Well, yeah, win or loss, and that's not coaches speak. That's real. I mean, that's what you got to really focus on. And Saturday night, that was hard for everybody, right? For all of our players and coaches, and going back and what if and could I have done this different and all that. But when you wake up Sunday morning, you got to shake it off and you got to move forward. And that's just life. That's how it is. And that's why God put our eyes on the front of our face, right? Not on the back of our head, because it's all about what's in front of us. And so that's really the message, for our guys is, hey, we're not gonna ignore it. We got to show back up, Monday morning and watch it. And even though it may make you sick to watch, we got to watch it and we got to learn from it so we don't make the same mistakes the next week. But then after that, you got to turn the page, and man, that's the great thing about sports, right? Is usually, unless it's the last game of the year, you got a next game. And for us, we got 2 games in 9 days. I mean, it doesn't get any better than that. And when you have a tough loss you just want to go play again. Like our guys, they just want to fast forward and be showing up tomorrow and going to play. But, we got to be able to put in the work along the way this week.
What did you think of what you saw from Timmy and actually even beyond this game, 2 weeks since BYU?
Yeah.
What are you seeing from him?
Yeah, I think overall he's doing a good job of managing the game. We haven't had an interception in 4 games. That's really strong. There's probably not a whole lot of teams that could say that, especially with a freshman quarterback. Some of his decision making I think has been pretty good. But we just haven't had the success in the 3rd and long situations and the drop back passing situations. This past game was the first game that I felt like we really started giving up some pressure up front, and you got to give them credit. They had some good defensive linemen up there, big guys that could run. And so there's some things that he's got to clean up as a young player, just like when Deshaun Watson and Trevor Lawrence were freshmen. They were talented, but I can remember several of them, throwing 4 picks in the red zone in certain games as freshmen, and it's just kind of part of it that you deal with when you're dealing with a freshman. But it goes back to the same question. Is he making progress? Is he getting better going through this season? And yes, I believe that he is. And he's got things that he needs to work on, and he's working on those.
So you said a couple minutes ago that this last loss hurt worse than the other ones. Can you elaborate on that? I'm not sure I quite understand.
Yeah, I would just say, whenever – as a coach, when your team is ready, when they're prepared, and when they go out and play well because they've prepared well, and there's truly a foundation to where you are. And this was the first game since I've been here where our guys were prepared. They went out, they were hungry, they played well, and we did a lot of things in position to earn a victory, where I would say some of the other games maybe last year, not that we lucked into it, but we just were not even close to where we are this year as a team. The record may be the same, but the teams, I'm just telling you from a coach's perspective, and I believe our belief, we're in a different position from a foundation. So it hurts a little more when you really truly put yourself in a position and played well enough and weren't just, lucky on a few bounces that kind of went your way. But I think maybe just because our guys have been working so hard and been getting better and better and getting closer and closer. Where last year you may have had a game where we were close, and then the next week it was not even close. And then it was close, and there was just inconsistencies. And so I think overall just the consistency of this team has been building through a difficult schedule early on. I think that's probably why it hurt, because I felt like we did a lot of good things, and we were right in position, and the mistakes we made were things that we could control, and so it definitely hurt. I hurt for our guys, but again, it's Tuesday. Y'all are catching me. If y'all caught me yesterday, or Sunday, I'd been a little bit more. But right now we're like so far ahead in our minds where we are, and you kind of have to move past it and move on. That's really all you can do.
You talked about that consistency that you've seen. Is that what gives you confidence that
Yeah.
if you can get one, you guys can break
Yeah.
through and turn one into a couple?
Yeah, it is. And again, I think only as a coach do you know your team and you know where you are. And again, offensively, defensively, and special teams, we're definitely not perfect. We're not where we want to be, big picture wise and all that. But we have all 3 groups have made progress, and that's kind of what I saw in that game, with the defense playing well and the special teams being able to score and having a chance to score on another one, and offense being able to move the ball and do some things. We're really close, where maybe in other situations it's kind of one group plays well and the other guys are nowhere to be found. So yeah, there's no doubt. I'm confident in the progress that we've made, and we just got to find a way to turn those into W's.
Temple, the major tradition is the whole Temple tough thing, where you don't get a single-digit number unless you're deemed as being one of those tough guys. Temple didn't add any new single-digit numbers. It's the same 4 as last year. You feel that tells the story of this Temple team, or is it a little bit more complex than that?
Yeah, that's the first time I've even thought about that, to be quite honest. I got 100 problems, but that ain't one. I can promise you that. I don't even know what to say on that. right now what we do, we're watching who they're lining up, where they are, where they do have some new guys, and schematically where they are, and really focused on us getting better. But I'll say this, I guess I don't know if it directly answers to your question. When I watch the video, I feel like they're a better team than they were last year, and I feel like they addressed maybe some positions and issues they had personnel-wise. They went in and brought in some new guys that are flying around and really talented. So that would be probably the first thing. Whenever I turned on the video, I saw a better team maybe than where they were a year ago. And hopefully when they turn on our video, they feel the same way.
Coach, probably the long answer for the long question for that short.
There you go. But now I'm going to go back and look at it. You got my inquisitive.
You mentioned some guys who played a lot, and Matt Hill was
Yeah.
one of those guys, not only this game, but all the games, and his role has changed due to injuries. Just speak about what he's given you on the field with his effort.
And talked about this a little bit yesterday on the radio show. Will Jones, who got injured on the Thursday before our first game, he played the same position. Him and Matt were supposed to kind of split that 50-50, and we really were encouraged by that. And when Will went down, it put a lot of snaps, on him. But I would say this, and he definitely hasn't been perfect and all that. But what you look for as a coach is, are they giving effort, right? Are they giving effort? Do they continue, even when they get beat on a play, do they come back and make the next play? Like that's what you build off of, and you kind of understand. I mean, like I said, there's several guys that played a lot of snaps. I see Smoke back there. I mean, you turn on the video, he was all over the place. He may get banged up. He's on the sideline for 2 plays, and he's ready to go right back in. And so as a coach, man, you just appreciate that. And that's why I said when I came in on Sunday, I just disappointed with the loss and all that. I mean, these guys are flying around and just giving their teammates and our team everything that they have. And they can't help that we may be thin and we may have injuries and we may not have the depth, and we can't control that, but we do control how we play. And Matt's been one of those guys. I can't wait to see Matt's progress that he's going to have the rest of the season and the rest of his career here. And he's going to look back at those mistakes and times that he got beat and all that, and he's going to be a really good player for us. I got no doubt about that. But I appreciate him being willing to play 94 snaps. That's a lot of snaps, and right now that's what we need him to do. Hopefully offensively we can execute a little bit better and be on the field a little longer so we don't put the defense in that position. But right now, I hadn't had one guy on one side of the ball go and complain about the other. And that's progress from where we were a year ago. And I see the opposite. I see the defensive guys in the offensive huddle and the offensive guys in the defensive huddle. And those are the little signs, I guess, that you see that gives you hope for the progress we're making.
And the other angle, Matt Hill, and you mentioned it on the radio show, he's a receiver at Auburn.
Yeah.
He changed positions.
Yeah. He went to Auburn as a receiver, and and whenever we brought him over, we asked him to come over and play safety, and he was up for it. He played a little bit of both ways in high school, but he hadn't done it in 3 years, and so it's been a new process for him, just like we've talked about with a freshman quarterback. You got to kind of live with some of the things that go on there when you got young guys kind of developing at new positions, and we have that at several positions. And so you understand it, but I'll tell you this: there's nobody that works harder and wants to improve and comes back and watches it on video and just keeps swinging than Matt Hill, and that's why we're encouraged about him and his future.
Still pretty fresh, but still a lot of things to get worked out. It seems like Florida Atlantic, Charlotte, North Texas, UTSA, Rice, and UAB could be the newest members of the conference. Just your initial reaction to saw any of that last night?
Yeah, my wife told me something about it right before I went to bed. That's the only thing. As you can imagine, I haven't spent a lot of time on social media. We've been keeping an inside-out focus in here. But yeah, she mentioned something to me, and you know what I said? I said, hey, that's the world we live in. Like every day you wake up, there's something new, right? And I personally, I embrace it, right? I'm 40 years old. I'm in college football. Like I embrace where we are. Like just think about the last 2 to 3 years. Like you got the transfer portal gets created. You got the one-time transfer comes. You got name, image, likeness, and we haven't even seen what that's really going to look like here over the next couple of years. You got pretty soon the NCAA restructuring, probably changing first time in 40 years. It's going to be completely different. You got the eligibility center that may be completely going away and not even have an initial eligibility where each school gets to decide who they want to let in on their own. You got conference realignment, right? And who can guess what's going to happen with that? It's just kind of moving around you. And obviously the college football playoff expansion, like all these changes, And at the end of the day, the way that I think, it's like, all right, well, that's interesting, but if I just sit here and do this, I'm going to get dizzy looking around, right? Well, let's worry inside out. Like, all I know is my job, and the reason I'm here, and the reason our administration and all our focus is like, how can we improve this program, right? The potential of this program is a lot bigger than where we are right now, right? And we have to run our own race, right? We've had a program for 25 years, and it's been a different race than probably any other program in the country and different things. But at the same time, man, I'm very confident that we have a bright future, right? I'm very confident in the leadership and the opportunity. I feel like there's an alignment in leadership from the board all the way down that probably is as good or better than any time in our program's history. In my experience at the last school that I was at, when you truly get that alignment and vision, you're able to accomplish things in 5 years that weren't accomplished in the 20 years before that. So that's a long answer to say. I just kind of, I don't even really have anything to respond other than, our goal is to build a program that can have sustainable success and win a conference championship, whatever conference we're in. And then the other thing that I know that's very evident is this whole conference realignment, this is not the last time it's going to happen, right? It's going to probably 3 years, 5 years. And so my goal is if we focus on our program and improving what we're doing, right, we're doing that. I mean, building this indoor is the first physical football facility enhancement in 15 years. This is a big deal. And the chairman stands up at that and says, we're getting ready to build a stadium. We're going to figure it out. Like, to me, that is the mindset of moving forward and preparing to be in a better position. There's a saying I've heard before, right? The best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The next best time to plant a tree is now. So that's kind of the mindset that I have is this isn't the end of college football realignment and college football history and what the future is going to look like. I think what it's showing is there's going to be more movement quicker than maybe in years past because of the things that are changing. And so we got a lot to clean up, a lot to get better, and I believe that we will. I feel like the other thing that we need within this program that I feel like we have an opportunity to do is we need consistency in leadership. All right, whenever I got here last year for the 2020 season, I was the 5th head coach in 12 seasons. Think about that. The 5th head coach in 12 seasons here, right? When Michael Kelly took over in 2018, he was the 3rd AD in 5 years here, right? And so that's the opportunity that we have now. I think we feel very confident in the leadership and the alignment. And now we just got to invest the time and the resources and all that stuff. And we're going to look up 2, 3, 4, 5 years from now, and we're going to feel really good about where we are. So that's the way that I think. I don't get caught up in where we are now. And I mean, again, we talk to our players about it all the time, right? It's a windshield mentality, right? If you drive in your car and I try to drive home tonight, staring in my rearview mirror, I'm going to run off the road, right? Yes, it's there. We need to remember it. We need to learn from it. We need all that. It's there, but it's all about what's in front. And that is literally the temperature within our building and on our campus, from the board to our president that's here now to all the coaches in the building. And I'm excited about it. I really am, because I feel fortunate that I'm the coach that gets to be here during this time of growth. And I feel like this program has been kind of waiting on that the last couple of years to get everybody on the same page, to have the alignment, and to go take action. And that's exactly what we're doing. And so it's a long way to say your answer, but we'll play anybody that's on our schedule. It really doesn't affect me or our guys or our recruiting or anything like that. It literally is all about how can we improve what we have. We got a lot to sell here for what we're doing and where we're going in the future.
Coach, normally when you're on the field for 94 snaps, that scoreboard's not going to look good. It's got to be encouraging that you're on the field that long and you're even have the lead at the end of the game.
Yeah, again, at the end of the day, we want to, it doesn't matter if we play 94 snaps or 5 snaps, we want to win the game. But yeah, I mean, you just take it all in. I mean, ideally, we're not putting our guys in that situation. But really, we're honest. Our guys would tell you, I'm pretty honest with the guys. I don't go in there and just try to blow them up and make them feel good just to show up the next day. I mean, these guys are 18 to 27 years old. They know it. We talk about it all the time, where we are. They know what the deal is. And, that we want to win. We want to get over the hump, and we feel like we're close to doing it. So that's just really where the mindset is right now.
Could you go over all, you know, and this is heavily debated with the fans always, and when it comes up, the 3rd and 1, the 4th and
Yeah.
1, do you run it inside, do you go
Yeah.
wide, do you get under center, just
Yeah.
all the angles, and everybody seems to, you know, debate on this, and
Yeah.
how you feel about how.
Going back and looking at it, I do not regret going for it on 4th and 1 because we've been good in short yardage. I feel very confident about our running backs. Jaren's been awesome in short yardage. Our offensive linemen have done a good job going back to 4th and goal at the 1 at BYU at 2:30 in the morning, right? And what we did earlier in the game on the goal line and all that. So I don't regret that. Looking back at it, I do regret the plays that we ran. Me personally, I told the team that. You know, I should have had an opportunity maybe to change the call. The fact that we went 2 Wildcat plays back to back. Yes, I'll admit that probably should have done something a little bit different. And schematically, you know, we kind of thought they were going to be in a certain look, and they were in a little bit different look, and it didn't work. If it would have worked, right, and we would have been able to execute like we have, and then everything would have been fine. But I don't regret going for it right there. You know, it's literally less than 1. And, you know, I told the guys all week long, we're going to be aggressive. Or we're not going to, you know, punt and just hope and pray if we're in that. Now, if it's 4th and 2, 4th and 3, that's a different situation. But at the end of the day, you know, I take that and you know, wish I would have, looking back on it now that it didn't work, wish that we could have called a different play.
Special teams is really becoming a dynamic group that can alter a game, and not just a return unit, but
Yeah.
the kicking game as well. It's been very
Yeah, the field goal, PAT and field goal team's been 100% throughout the year on field goals, so that's something really strong to build off of. I mean, I've said from the beginning, I think Spencer Schrader is as talented as any kicker in the country. I mean, if he'll continue to work, I think he could kick in the NFL for a long, long time. He's got a very strong leg, very accurate, and you know, he's just needed confidence through the year. So it's been good to see that this year. And then, yeah, I mean, our guys work extremely hard on special teams. Coach DePrada, he spends a lot of time coaching those guys. He's got a good rapport with the guys, and our team has bought into that. They know where we are right now as a team. Like, we need to win in each phase to have a chance to win on Saturday. And so that was encouraging, seeing the kickoff return team do that. And we were close on 2 other kickoff returns. We were even the last one right there at the end. I told them, go ahead and bring it out no matter where it is to see if we can, you know, win the game. And literally they caught him on the back of his heel right there, and we were close there. And then punting the ball, we've been pretty consistent. And then, you know, Weaver and the punt block team have done a good job. You know, we made a mistake, ran into the kicker there, and he's trying to be aggressive. He just got to learn how to hold off right there a little bit. But yes, I definitely have seen progress in that group, and I think for us to take that next step, which I believe we are going to do here the rest of the year, we need to continue to play well on special teams, and I think that can be a weapon for us.